Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. You can't run from evil within yourself or outside of self. You got to deal with it. And you need good in order to deal with evil. And God is good. You need to return to the Father. And you'll see within you, he will fight the battle for you. And he will fight it without, because he will show you how to deal with it. And you will have no fear. Love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, along with nothing else. Nothing else means yourself, your children, your wife, your things, your ego, your reputation, and all that. You can't care about any of that. The children of anger will use it to control you. But if you love God, he will renew your mind, and none of those things will be before him. And so when they go after you, oh, well, you may take my body, you may take my things, but you're not going to take my soul. And that's a true reality. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home.
That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
He's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room,
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on America's soil. So he became the anchor baby. They don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on this fine Monday. A pleasure to be back with all of you. Got a bit of a show for you that we got to get into, okay? So tune in, kick back here a little. I mean, some of you are gallivanting or running around, busy little days. Okay, I got my little stories. I got my little story merchant here for you, and I have my wares. And I appreciate you being here, okay? Hope you had a fine weekend. Valentine's weekend. Amazing for some, depressing for others. We might get into that. I mean, people were calling me about it. But, okay, number of things to get into. You're here. I want to welcome my viewers. That's rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, punchy.tv/Anchor Baby, and, of course, all of you here, I got something for you. And I do appreciate you being here. Make sure to call in. Look, if you got something on your mind, something you want to talk about, something on your mind, You can call in. That's 888-775-3773. We'll be having some fun today. Okay. 888-775-3773. Back at you, Chad. How you doing, Birdie Mount? Brian. Always. How you doing, Frank? Truck. We got Truck here. Amazing. Where's Axel? We got Stewart. Thank you. How you doing, some guy? My viewers on Rumble. Punchy.tv. We'll get to the super chats. Okay, buymeacoffee.com/anchorbaby. Some of you are so generous. Already with the coffees. Okay? So, man, I'm glad we're not showing X right now. The timeline can be crazy. Okay, we've said hello. You're here. You're clicking the like button. You're showing decorum, right? We can't let... Now Obama's talking about decorum. Okay. We were ahead of the curve. So please click the like button. Don't be rude, okay? What are you doing? It's like you're an animal. You're an absolute animal. You're like, okay, death, destruction, whatever. I want it all. Let me eat manja. We see you. Or click the like button, 2 ways to live life. Okay. Check it out. Yes, my little stories. How are you doing, Gabrielle? Is it Gabriel or Gabrielle? My little stories. This one's a good. We got some good ones. Because you may have heard some of this stuff. And it was on my mind. Let me see. Wait. Should I jump in? Are we diving in? Hold on. 888-775-3773. Let's see. Think. No, we got it. That's everything. We're diving in because, Valentine's. Look, we got some news to get into, but can we have a little fun here really quick before we do all that? Because, it's interesting. People are messaging me a couple different issues. I'm like, whoa, call Jesse. And it's like Jesse says, I'm not a doctor, right? But church is for that, right? And that was awesome. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. And, a lot of things we've been talked about. Mothers was interesting on Sunday. People were calling me. Some of their lives are torpedoing, and they're like, Nick, what do I do? Their lives are torpedoing, but in a different way. They're like, I had no love. I got no girlfriend. I got no women. I'm a chud. I get no play. I'm telling you, they're like messaging me. Some of you, I'm not going to out you, some of you Discord, etc. It was maybe a tough weekend. Holy. I heard it when I was a kid. I remember this teacher. I don't know why it stuck with me, but he was like, was it a teacher? I'm trying to remember. It was a teacher. And they were like telling us what the worst day in the year was. And I didn't understand some of this. They had like the worst day. It was figured out scientific because it's sometime like the end of January because the taxes, because you already bought the gifts. You're hurting financially. The taxes are due. February's coming up. You got no girlfriend. I didn't even understand some of that. I'm sorry. Side note. So Valentine's Day love was in the air, maybe. You guys heard of some of this stuff called Looksmaxxing and all that? I don't know if you heard of this stuff. You maybe have to be on the internet. Maybe you have to, if you're touching grass, if you're outside in the real world, you've never touched anything. But anyways, sorry. That's an even farther tangent. But okay, maybe you're not on the internet, but you're seeing everybody using this language called, it's going to hit you. If it hasn't hit you yet, it's going to come across your way somehow, right? Everybody's on their phones now. They're swiping up on the TikToks. Your parents are on, don't be surprised when your parents start saying, hey son, are you Looksmaxxing? How are we Looksmaxxing? Sorry. Now I sound stupid because I don't know how to use it. I don't know how to use the terminology, but look, they're saying they're maximizing their looks by way of some what do they call it? Like safer methods and some riskier, more extreme methods to change your look, be more beautiful. They're calling it Looksmaxxing. Some of you old heads in the chat, some of you old heads know What's up, though? You guys are like, that's old, Nick. Yeah, I know the history. I've been in the forums. You know, they used to call it many things. You know, this just improving yourself as a man, you know, like bodybuilding. It kind of started in the bodybuilding forums. But anyways, this is what's kind of like been hitting like the young people. You may have heard of this guy named Clavicular. He's been getting a lot of attention online. I mean, there was some recent controversial moments. I mean, he got banned from some clubs. You hear about that? He went with some controversial folks like Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes. These kinds of people, they just got together, went to a club. And they ended up playing a song that was controversial, even on top of that. A song by Kanye West, okay, about HH. You might know it. They got like super band. Well, something. It was a controversy. A lot of people didn't like it. Okay, a lot of people didn't like it. They were in Miami. You know, I come to understand it's a sort of hub for a lot of Jewish people. So they called it very anti-Semitic. Club promoters are like, "You're bad. You ain't never coming down this town." Stuff I heard, right? So those and a few other events have like gotten this guy a bunch of notoriety. Sorry, I'm not trying to spend too much time here. I'm trying to just have a little fun. Can an anchor baby have a little fun on the show? Because people think about love a lot. Young people are calling me about it. I'm telling you, and it's kind of a new world with social media and stuff. But yet there are some things that are the same about human nature, female nature, men. And so I'm gonna just like take my time here, have fun. But the point will be there if you pay attention. Clavicular. So Looksmaxxing, they call it Looksmaxxing. And they're just obsessed with what it seems like increasing your looks, right? Which is so shallow, right? That's just the most shallow thing in the world. So, right, that's what everybody's saying. A lot of people's response to this type of content, they're like, this is just so shallow, right? Duh. So you just care about your looks? Who finds that important even? Who would even find that important? The moralists wagging their fingers say, who would even care about that? That's not something to care about. They're saying, so that's kind of the scene. Kind of trying to help you out here if you don't know anything about this. Okay, Looksmaxxing. Here's just a little taste too. Maybe I haven't even seen this one, but look, I think he runs up to somebody. This is this clavicular guy I mentioned. The guy who's really put this Looksmaxxing whatever on the scene, and has got the internet all using these terms, which is honestly a little bit annoying. But it's got me chuckling. It's got me chuckling because they have a whole terminology. It's almost like Dragon Ball Z out here. These characters in this Looksmaxxing world, they're all like, they have words for how to like defeat each other. Like, I Looksmaxxed and I frame mogged. Mogging has to do with like defeating someone. Like, it's like Dragon Ball Z out here. So I do chuckle at that. I like it. I forget what he tells this guy. Now I'm just trying to like give you a taste of this word, right? They're saying Looksmaxxing. And I'm hoping this is where he kind of tells you one of the more extreme methods.
Yeah, so it's basically just a form of self.
He's just on a campus
right?
here,
so
trying to spread the good word.
Like roids ascend your physique. You could bone.
Oh yeah, so he's talking about roids.
Bro. What's that? You don't know what Looksmaxxing is? Like improving your looks? Yeah, so it's basically just a form of self-improvement, right? So you could do like roids ascend your physique. You could bone smash.
Bone smashing.
Get lean. Junk food. You know what I mean? This is not Looksmaxxing right here. I mean, I do it too, but I'm on Reddit, so and I do stims. So there's this peptide called retatrutide that agonizes the GLP-1 receptors. Basically means it blocks your appetite.
Wegovy, GLP-1.
So you won't be eating dog shit, and you'll get lean. Your face will chisel out.
Lean, chisel out. You mentioned so you're getting hit with a bunch of words. You're like, hey, this kind of sounds like good advice. You know what? Yeah, stop the junk food. Lean out. Bone smashing. You never heard of that, but okay. You're getting a taste. You referenced DBZ, and you're calling me an old head. We're old heads, Francisco. We'll get to the old head stuff, bodybuilders, where y'all at? You guys know. But you've also mentioned him. You also heard him mention roids, right? Steroids, some pretty extreme methods. He's saying that he employs himself to Looksmaxx, right? Okay. Shall we finish just a little bit of this? Okay, you get this one. Okay, now this little segment was just kind of just showing, just kind of give you a little taste of him, right? Clavicular, Looksmaxxing. Okay, let's try and do this part fast.
So the goal is to create localized micro traumas, and when the microfractures occur, we wait, and then it restores itself, and we have more projected zygotes, right? So, what's that? What's a zygote again? A zygote is your cheekbone, right?
In your bones,
and
man.
You want to bone
You're
smash.
smashing the bones with repetitive motion to have it repair itself, and grow.
Your lateral zygomatic arch, right? So that gives you the wider bizygomatic width.
He's talking about your skull. He's talking about your face.
Smash, you could use a hammer. You could use this massage gun as a really good tool. Or you could do the good old lay in your bed and fist. But make sure, here, show them. Make sure you're bracing your head.
So you're telling me, Clever, show them. He's like, quickly show them. Look at these faces of these college kids. Unlooksmaxxed, weak chins, clavicular. You're telling me that they could just, this guy over here, look, you're telling me he could just cause micro trauma across these bones on your face?
Okay, you guys get what I mean?
You tell me you could look like you? You know, what's funny about that is I'm not going to say anything because I haven't looked into it. For those old heads that know about the world of self-help and bodybuilding forums and stuff, some of the things, you'd be surprised what you can improve and what tissues in the body can grow with stress. So, you look, it's just, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not saying anything on the science about it, okay? I don't know. But you get a little taste of clavicular, okay? They're telling Looksmaxx, look, you got to be awesome. You got to be, Looksmaxxed, right? And you're hearing it now, right? The moral is like, who cares about such a thing, right? That's so shallow. Here, last one.
The girls were telling me last night, they were like, they said to me, you have no idea like how much influence you have over people. Like every single person is Looksmaxxing. Like, all the girls want to Looksmaxx. All the guys like talk about you every day. And I was like, okay, well, like, wow, like I knew I was like a popular public figure, but I didn't know people were taking my stuff so seriously and being so, like, people were.
So, okay, see, I'm hearing it. I think it's going to hit like I think it's already has, or it's breaking out of niche circles, this language and this whole scene, okay? I think you're going to see a whole lot more of it. And it's just interesting, there's a couple of topics that come to mind about dating, about the advice that people want, about the nature of humans, of women and men. And then, so there's a couple of things that come to mind. I mean, there's something like, there's something like obviously criticizable. Or what's the word? Criticizable was something you can obviously criticize about it. If you hear this guy out more and more, you hear that he has no problem taking some pretty big risks, like performance-enhancing drugs, steroids, masteron, testosterone. We're talking long, short esters. He has no problem also doing all sorts of recreational drugs and stimulants. He says he does stims to stay lean. When you do stimulants, you have a lower appetite. On top of, I think it sounds like he's also even messing with the GLP-1 stuff, which is that Ozempic, Wegovy, that new medicine, that new drug out there, which I believe is the peptide. It's a brand new class of drugs, and slows down your digestion. So I mean, he's been open about using all these things, pretty risky stuff, and so yeah. I mean, I'm just think it's interesting the things that he is challenging or just forcing a conversation on. because as obvious as the risks are, how easy it is to criticize and finger wag. It's so shallow. Who cares about looks? Who cares about looks? Every single person I've seen criticize, some of the biggest critics, because it's not something I even would like finger wag about. Like, okay, that's someone doing that. There's some others on the internet who it's the first that do multiple shows on this guy. It's like, this is bad. This is what I hear. Okay, I haven't even seen their show, so I'm only bringing this up because I got my little opinion here. And they talk about him, and they say, well, I've noticed that the ones who've said like the most about him can easily fall to the very things that they're moralizing about. They're saying like things like, who cares about looks, right? When he's like proving that the world cares about looks a lot, that women care about looks a lot, that you could get away with a lot, that you could do anything you want if you are just like, you look great, you make money, you do whatever you want. And so that's not like an endorsement. Anybody who's got a little bit of, call it experience, maturity, I don't know, I'm not trying to be on a high horse because it might be a little rich for me, but look, anybody who knows something, it's like, it is like youthful and immature. You could be hurting yourself, you're doing things that you might not want to do, but he's not out there pretending to be a role model, in my opinion. Someone your children should be like. It's just it is a little fascinating that he is proving what he's saying though. Like what he's doing, he's like, I'm only caring about this shallow thing, and he's getting money. It instantly becomes rich. Instantly, all women love him. He has some like legal troubles. They all go away. Like that's the look of it, right? That's just the look of it from like the outside, right? So it's just a funny thing. People are like messaging me like, Nick, man, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I have some experience. I'm dating and all that. Like, Jesse talks about it and all that. Not like a secret. And they ask for like advice and stuff. What do I do? How do I get a girl? It was funny. I was seeing these like over the weekend. There were these events in LA called Pitch Your Friend events. And it was like an event where you bring your friend in front of a room of like 200 like single people, and you pitch your friend. You put him up there on the block, like why you should date this guy. Why you should date my friend? And it seems like throwing my friend to the wolves. Like unless he'd want to, right? Like if I dragged him to something like that, or put the idea in his head, that'd be so evil. I feel like forcing him to get into a situation, right? It's like that's got to happen on its own. And I don't know, I've never really had advice for dating and how to get a girl. There was a guy even on my show just recently. He was like, "Hey, I'm selling a $50 Discord red dating course, and it's on how to cold approach, on how to no shade, bro, no shade, but it's like maybe some shade. Maybe that's what I'm doing right now. But look, this is what I think about it. It was like $50 course, red pill, how to cold approach, man. We're going to teach you how to get the wife you want. and I've never really had any advice for that. Because there's really no advice for that. Like it's like a attraction. It's like a shallow thing. The Chad gets the girl. I don't know how to put it. Oh, looks don't matter. Looks don't matter. Women are, they're affected by these by those things they say they don't like. There's a lot of people talking about this one, for example. You guys remember little Brett Cooper? What's she been? I don't know why I said it. I don't know why I described her like that. But she was on Daily Wire. She's a nice girl. I always got this impression that she's just like a nice girl. That impression has not changed. Brett Cooper, she's a conservative influencer, was on Daily Wire. I think went off, did her thing. Kind of looks like Ben Shapiro. It's a funny thing. And so there's this moment that all the incels on the, I say lovingly, or whatever. Maybe I'm wagging my finger to you too. To the incels and the guys online, maybe the terminally online guys, there are blackpilling over this moment. So this lady, she's married. Brett Cooper, husband. She's married, right? But she's an influencer. She goes around meeting people. She's at some party, and it runs into clavicular, the Looksmaxxing, shallow. No woman would ever pay attention to. Disgusting, okay, and they are blackpilling over this smile, the smile she gave him. They're like, see, married but smiles like this. And admittedly, I'd say I was like, okay, a little funny to see them blackpill over this smile. A little overblown, but maybe. Then I saw the women like big time defender, like, okay, whatever, you guys are blackpilling, so dumb. And I don't watch these people. I don't know their content. And you got to take this one in. Here's an individual who was on with Jesse not too long ago, I think. Not so erudite. She was like, imagine being so terminally online that you see someone be friendly and it shatters your mind. And I was like, whatever. Maybe this, maybe that. I didn't have an opinion. And she says, this is what charismatic people do when meeting other influencers. It's like, it's believable. Particularly one you have mocked as much as Brett mocks Clav. I'm like, wait a second. Brett mocks Clav like a lot? And I'm seeing in the comments that that's what she does. She mocks him a lot. As, shallow. It's just like, this is so bad. No woman wants to be with this and stuff like that. And I don't watch her show, so I don't want to say for sure this or that on how much she talks about him. Oh my God, let us read it. Read what? There's something you were supposed to read? You don't need to read these, okay? I'm telling you the important stuff. Brett mocks Clav, apparently on her show a bunch. It's like, why do you think? That is so like a classic female nature. And this is what I mean by I don't have dating advice for you. I like stuff that just tells you about the nature of people. That might not help you in dating, but it might tell you why people act a certain way. You criticize what do they say? The classic trope of the girl who swears she's not attracted to someone. No, he's so gross. I swear I'm not attracted. No, I would never be attracted to someone who cares about his looks as much as him. That's the classic, like, that's classic female nature. What a mess. And that's what some might call the black pill of that. And I don't know anything about what's exactly happening in this photo. I don't really care. But that's how female nature is, right? They're like excited by the guy that can get many women, that may not necessarily settle down with her, he's thrilling, he's exciting, he's maybe dangerous. I don't know, maybe there may be a number of psychosexual reasons for that. I don't know. I'm not a freaking Freud type of guy. Like, they care about these things because a dangerous man will protect you more. Like, I don't, But there were these two events like recently, and I don't really even need to say their names, but there were people that were married. These people were married. They're like influencers, very public. One married, one betrothed to be married. One guy, he's like this like gamer type beta male, just like gamer, just like emotional, looks pudgy, just looks like that too. Not. I tend to think looks don't matter that much either, but look, not too. That's a different point. He's got a fiance. His whole thing is like he's very emotional, and he's very emotional, and you just see mama in him. His fiance is having sex with his best friend. This is super public. This guy's a total Chad. She's been hanging out with like people, like she has a lot of freedom, this fiance of his. This other couple. This other people, no need to name these people, but she's like a public influencer, got married, was like, I'm a virgin, etc. Chad comes along, right? Chad comes along, and she's got a lot of free time alone with Chad, and anyway, so that's just female nature, right? That's not dating advice. So for the people who like were calling me and asking about that, I just think we shouldn't care about such things. Okay, 888-775-3773. You know, you hear Jesse talk at church. He's like, no happy person gets married. And I hear these things. I'm like, oh, that's supposed to be like a black pill, right? I'm like, dang. And when I've been hearing these things, and I end up feeling like marriage and kids aren't that important. But is that such a bad thing? You know, I'm still kind of on that path, and I was like, it's looking like I'm going to do that, right? I'm going to get married. There's this girl. And I hear Jesse say those things, but maybe those things shouldn't be so important. I think that's going to set me up for it's going to protect me, okay, for whatever may come. But anyway, so that's Looksmaxxing. They care about that. The world is shallow. Clav reveals that it really is shallow, though. Your looks isn't everything. But to the world, you know, everybody loves to say things that are not true. But you know, this whole Looksmaxxing thing, is it like at its core shallow? I mean, I think there might be like a silver lining somewhere. Because I don't think Clavicular's trying to be a role model. And there was this guy years ago. You guys remember Z's? He was a bodybuilder. Young guy, got on performance-enhancing drugs pretty quickly. And, you know, his story is, the way we know him from now, like we're looking back, is he died. He died, I forget from what, but I think it's pretty well known. It was not the performance enhancement drugs did not help. I think he may have had already like a complication with his heart growing up. And, you know, He like lit up of the imaginations of a bunch of young guys. And his whole thing was about like, you can either be like a sad person or you could just be like sick. I won't say it like how he says it. You could be a depressed person or you could just be like a sick person. You know, like, I'm a Chad, look at me. You know, I do whatever. I just like, I live, I do what I just like live how I want. And, you know, the silver lining is like, okay, you know, it's not about like looking like him, but you don't have to be a depressed guy. You really don't have to be. There's so many young guys that calling me. They're calling me over the weekend. They're like, Nick, I have no job. I have nothing. I have no girlfriend. I'm back to being depressed. I got nothing. And I'm like, wow. I'm like looking at this message. And I'm like, this is so fake. Like, all I'm seeing, like, I've been too overwhelmed to take care of myself, surrounded by hell. I can't stop being reminded how much no one loves me, listens to me. And they're saying they're too autistic to even work, to take care of themselves. I'm like, that's such a lie. That's such a lie. You think Chads ever think like that? Do you think they ever doubt? Do they ever think, I can't. What if I can't take care of myself? What if I can't? What if I can't? So, I don't know. I like the spirit of that. You know, it's like, oh, for me, the point is like, oh, I'm going to try and look like Z's. No, you don't have to be depressed. Like, I can't believe this message even exists. After the things that you know, I hope you're listening. You can work. There's no reason you can't work. Thoughts of no one loves you is no reason not to work. And all of this is a lie. You have to know this is a lie, that you sent this to me. You think, you think Lightning, what's his name? You think Lightning McQueen ever doubts in his life?
What was it like for you when you showed up to your first race? How did you know you could do it?
I don't know. I just never thought I couldn't.
Okay, so, anyways. All right. I was just trying to have a little fun. Loud. Okay. I can't ever see how loud this is. Jeez. It's like so low in my headphones. That was like super low. Someone told me to watch that too, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch that. I'm going to put it super low. And no, that was blasting. Okay. Apologies. But, yeah. You think the lion ever doubts? All right, so 888-775-3773. What else? What else did I have here? Dating advice, blah, blah, blah. Look, someone was, this person was telling me about nice guys, and nice guys finish last. And I was thinking about that phrase, nice guys finish last, and how much people are hating it. And they're like, you can't be a nice guy because that's not how you get women. But no, break out of that framing, right? Break free from that whole framing of how do I get a woman? Oh, but but it's female nature. Now I got a black pill about that. You got to break out of all of that, okay? And work on yourself. Anyways, 888-775-3773. You know what was super interesting on Sunday over the weekend? You guys caught church, right? rebuildingtheman.com/church. That was great. Bro, do you believe no happy person gets married too? See, I'm not like, I'd leave it as I don't know, but don't you get where Jesse's coming from? Like, he's talking about disappearing, you know, like, what is it? Like, two people coming together. Well, who are you? I don't want to say I'm nobody. I don't know that, but like, if you're nobody, then why are you who needs to get married? Don't you get that? Don't you get that a little bit, like a tiny bit? And so, anyways, what are y'all saying in the chat? 888-775-3773. R.I.P. Z's, you guys get it, right? Don't do steroids. But I'm not going to like be like, oh my gosh, I'm going to finger wag. Z's wasn't trying to be your role model on how to be moral. Okay, well, you guys get some of that, right? Whoever doesn't get it, doesn't get it. 888-775-3773. Okay, we got to move on. Is Nick trying to indoctrinate us to become... No, don't bone smash, but maybe some of the soft maxing, right? They're talking about working out. You don't have to bone smash to work out. Like, there's some things you could do to work out, to like, to work on yourself in different areas. You don't have to smash your face. I don't personally believe. I think that's largely genetics. You know, have you seen this guy young? Like, I think he's like 18
what's
here,
up?
maybe 17.
Wanted to talk
talking
my
about taking
first storm
SARMs when he was
cycle that I
15.
ran at
Like
15 years old.
These things are genetic. Like, I'm talking about the spirit. You know, you got to go gambate in life. Like, no, you're right. I don't have to be a depressed person. Okay. What else? What are y'all saying here? Church was fun. That was cool. We were talking at length about some of the mothers there. Okay. And I'm here. I got my little packet here. Man, I got this stuff that we never got to with the like trans shooter up there in Canada. And I don't know if it hasn't been said. I haven't really seen it been said. Just how crazy this is a case of the mother being like this, like insane trans activist, like pushing this stuff, and then their kid went off and killed people. I think you might be right. Everything's fake. I personally don't know. Right? I'm still dating. Right? Like he says, I think you could be happy to get married. I think. Right? We think. Right? I do think when Jesse says those things, I mean, it does leave me like thinking maybe it's not all so important. I hope for me, for some of you, you guys are like, oh my God, that's really stressing me out. But for me, that actually relieves me personally. I don't know about you guys, but that for me, it's a relief. So anyways, where were we? The trans shooter, okay, this mother was like insane. And the lawmakers are insane. The women have gone out of control in Canada. And it's gone so crazy that there is literally like this trans guy just on the streets. There's just let him out on the streets. Who stabbed his kids. He's going to go to the courts, right? But you got to understand, like, it's not like a mystery that this person violently hurt his children. Deranged person. He's making videos of it. He's like on TikTok, like, hey, I can't believe they let me out. You guys want to talk on TikTok before I might go to jail? And so, you know, it's just really it's when you see some of this at play, you see the spiritual side of how these laws, how could these like so-called, you know, real laws happening in the real world happen? The people's minds are crazy. They're so weak to any talk, right? You're supposed to feel bad for them. They're victims, right? The trans people, all this, they're just totally inculcated to the whole thing. Like, okay, mama, we got to protect them, right? And they're getting crazier. So where was all this? You know, because there's this guy, you know, this Alice Michael Atwood, they're calling him, as this person calls himself, a trans man in Canada being reported, who stabbed his 7-year-old son, 8-year-old daughter, severing the girl's throat. You see that? And there's more details. It's pretty nasty. From what I read, though, they're alive. Shockingly, with the description of the damage.
Good morning.
But this person is like a clearly deranged person, right? And they're making videos about it. This is like their van. It says like every child matters. Like they're almost like begging, like the public to. It's insane. This person keeps saying in their videos, like this guy, this male individual, is like, oh, I don't know if someone's gonna come and find me and do something to me. It's like really, really dark.
It's your favorite hobo you love to hate. I just wanted to...
Okay, look, hold on. I'm going to turn on my headphones here. This is super soft. Your ears may have been destroyed. I'm going to really try and watch this, okay? This has to change, okay? We can't have we can't have the blasting of the ears.
Do a check-in, let people know that I am being safe, I'm being secure. I have taken care of my needs, and I am just chilling until I actually go for my sentencing. And yeah, I did kind of realize that we do have a highly unique opportunity here, whereas I'm someone who did something heinous and I'm on social media, whereas pretty much all the other people who do something heinous get locked in a box and blocked out from society, and they don't get to talk to them. So, like,
strange stuff, right? I mean, who's running things? Who are the lawmakers? Creating such an environment, you know. This is Grace Lower, okay, of the NDP, the New Democratic Party, which is like even more liberal. This passed in the BC legislature, British Columbia, unanimously by law. Those 12 and older do not need a doctor or a psychologist in order to change their gender marker. And by request, people can get a birth certificate without a gender marker on it. Also, protect trans kids. You know, it's just like it's always this attack with the family. They're wrong. How dare you say that they're not whatever they say they are? You're familiar with the arguments, but that's what's going on here. It's funny, too, you know, you may have heard that it's Family Day in Canada. I remember that starting when I was in school, like younger, at least in Ontario. Family Day. That became offensive, and they couldn't call it Family Day anymore, and they started calling it Heritage Day. Anybody remember that? Anybody from Ontario? Hey, family's offensive. Family's offensive. And these people are always just so angry And they're always so angry at their family and the world and everything. Have you noticed that? And so the internet, some people on the internet, they want you to carve this headline on our society's tombstone. Transgender school shooter's father distances himself from killer son. I was not part of his life. And we'll get to calls. I see you, 888-775-3773. And yeah, I'm noticing some of the commentary. I almost didn't quite get this almost cryptic caption as they shared this headline. But I've gathered, I think what they're saying is simply is, this lack of fathers. You could put it on our society's tombstone. It's the end. And, maybe you could. Maybe you could put couple of different things. Maybe you could put that headline on the tombstone of the society. I saw a lot of the comments really go hard at the father. And it reminded me of Jesse during church. He was like, one of the mothers was asking, well, why do you go so hard against the mother? I mean, sometimes the father's absent. What about the damage that causes? It's like what damage? He's not there to cause any damage. He's not there, right? He's not there. There's no damage. There's nothing, It's like, well, there should have been something, maybe, but what there was nothing. They're absent. And so what's the damage? What are you talking about? Maybe think about that a little bit, because when you look into it, what turns out, let me see where did I put this? Because I got it a little jumbled up here. Here's the story, actually. Yes, New York Post was reporting that. They wrote that about distancing himself. I mean, this individual's name is apparently Jesse Vaughn. Hold on, this New York Post ad always slows down this computer a lot, particularly this website. I don't know why. You see this? Now you're seeing it for yourself. Come on. It's sometimes catastrophic, folks. There we go. Okay, there. Transgender Canadian school shooter Jesse Van Rotzellar's father distances himself from killer son. I was not part of his life. Referring to him with male pronouns and his mother's surname, notes the New York Post. He released a statement that he is not to blame. I was estranged from Jesse, not part of his life. And he uses the last name of the shooter's mom, because he has a different last name. The mother declined my involvement from the beginning, and I was not given the opportunity to be part of raising him. He says he didn't use my last name. While that distances the reality of our relationship, it does not lessen the heartbreak I feel for the pain that has been caused to innocence. And so wait. Yeah, so he shot this Canadian shooter. He shot and killed his 39-year-old mother and 11-year-old stepbrother before going to this school and doing what he did there, and then killed himself. And so anyway, so the father's not there. He says not to blame. He's totally not there. And it was just one more detail about it was the, let me see if I can pull it up. I want to be a little bit accurate here. The trans, she was seemingly pro-trans, this mother. This mother of this Jesse Strang. I got it a little jumbled here. What a mess. Then we'll get to calls. 888-775-3773. Trans. The mother of Jesse Strang was a hardcore trans rights activist, according to this person on X, who wanted transgender children. She was murdered by her mass murderer son, who she began transitioning as a child. Take those words with a grain of salt. Some people characterize things pretty exaggerated, but they share a number of images here connected to the mother's social media. And, you know, you see some of the classic, it's a trans flag, right? Good people don't spend their time harassing marginalized communities. Wall of text posts on Instagram. Oh, you're not seeing it here. Here, wall of text posts on Instagram. Here's the trans flag. All this stuff. You've seen people like this, right? Facts. As a conservative-leaning libertarian who lives in the North, what? Conservative-leaning libertarian who lives in the North, loves living in a small town. I really, and pro-trans, and like, it's just strange people, right? I really hope the hate I see online is just bored old people and not true hatred. You know, like, just posting about it. You know what I'm saying? Like emotionally activated about the whole thing. Way too involved. Okay, Jennifer. This is more of her social media, apparently. Anyways, that's not that important. But she was into the trans thing. Okay, Mama. 888-775-3773. I want to get to all of you. But what else about this? You saw the lawmakers. They're letting them out on the streets because they got some pink hair. And Mama feels bad for them all. Where's Daddy? Anyways, moving on. Right? Oh, yeah, and Dad wasn't there. He didn't do anything. It was all Mama. Like, it was her influence. Dad wasn't there. He had none. So, anyways, I think that's it. 888-775-3773. Where are we? What are you guys saying here? I want to get to Jaden out of California. How you doing, Jaden? You're on the air.
What's up, Nick?
How you doing, sir?
Let me see my mic. My mic. Is it good?
Coming in clear.
All right, Nick. This situation just happened, so it's fresh on my mind. I want to get your thoughts on it.
Tell me.
So I just went for a run. But before I went on the run, there was this guy at this homeless shelter I'm staying at. And this dude was just getting up in my face, dude. I mean, he was like, oh, we can go outside with this. We can go outside with this, you know. And, like, the amount of fear I felt on the inside was insane, dude. I've never felt that amount of fear because he was, like, ready to go. But what's weird is that he's, like, smaller than me. Dude, I'm, like, a foot taller than him, and he's, like, skinnier. I don't know even. So my question is, like, practically, I know what to do, right? So I think I did the right thing in that situation. I decided, hey, bro, I ain't got no problems with you. You got to leave, dude, because we can't be doing this, you know, and he left. But he's been doing that for, like, the past weeks, right? I don't know why he's got a problem with me. So I know practically what to do. My question is about that fear on the inside. What should I do about that? Because I know how to handle the situation practically, but, dude, that fear was crazy.
That's so
dude.
interesting. Okay, sorry, can you tell me a little bit more, though? You said this was happening in that area, so there was other people around in the shelter area. There's other people. There's officials around or something, or workers.
They were inside. There was no official around.
So do you guys govern yourselves in there, kind of thing, or what?
Basically, I mean, I could have went in, but I would have had to cross over like a whole hallway and back, and it was, you know, it was easier for me to just say, "Hey, bro, you got to leave, or I'm gonna leave." Because
and why were you telling him to leave?
Because he was getting up in my face. He was threatening to fight me. He was talking about, "What you talking about me? What you talking about me?" And
you guys were
I
like
said,
in a common area.
Yes.
Okay. Why is he targeting you like that? Why is he on
Look,
you?
I don't want to
No
be like a
reason at
woman.
all. No reason at all.
I know that's why I don't want to be like a woman and say I did nothing to it. He was my roommate, so maybe it had something to do with that. For a while, he was my roommate, and maybe I was, you know, he heard some of my conversations, but I don't really know what I said that could have been that bad. But maybe I was laughing too loud or snoring or something. I don't know, but he's had a problem with me for the past few weeks. And I think practically I've been dealing with the situation good. You know, every time he does it, I'm just like, look, I ain't got no problems with you, man. You know, I just try to either he leaves or I leave. Because, and we both say here, look, that fear, I can only like look at it for so long, Nick, before it turns to like, I got to fight this dude, you know?
Why?
So that's why I want like advice on the fear itself.
Yeah. Why? You said, I can only feel this fear for so long until I have to fight this dude. Why?
Because it's like that fear is telling me he's going to jump any moment, dude. Like, he's like wild, bro. This dude wild. So it's like, if he gets the first hit, I'm going to probably get beat up. So I got to, you know, hit him first.
If you fear imminent danger like that, then why not remove yourself? It sounds like you do sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Why not remove
Either
yourself?
he leaves or I leave.
On the topic of imminent danger, are you 100% just avoiding it?
Yes. But even if it's imminent danger, I don't want to feel that fear. Dude, that fear sucked, bro. I almost went like completely blind, bro. I almost went completely just instant.
You almost fought. You said you're also saying
I almost
yeah. The fear had you
Like,
going almost that you almost fought. You almost fought someone.
I was not in as much control as I wanted to be there, even though I think I handled it decently for what the situation I was in. But I don't want that fear. I don't care if it's like immediate danger. I don't want that fear anymore. I don't want that every time someone's going to get up in my face like that.
And telling him to leave, you were in your right? You were totally in the right then?
Huh?
Were you totally in the right telling him to leave there?
Yes.
Like what I mean is like, because it's like a common area. Is it like, can like a third party like reasonably say, well, he doesn't have to leave and you guys are...
Oh, no, he could leave. I just said that I told him either he leaves or I'm going to leave. I never said he has to leave. I said one of us. And if you don't want to leave, I'll go, bro. But we can't both be here.
Well, I'm a little interested into the details as to what's going on between you guys. But so far, you're saying how to handle that fear and those moments you've been doing so far. From what I gather, you're doing fine in that. From what I gather, it sounds like you're doing nothing. You're feeling the fear. You're saying, hey, just leave. I don't want to fight, whatever. Or you're just removing yourself and you're not acting on the fear. And the fear's telling you, I want to fight this guy. This guy might hit me. I need to preemptively strike or whatever.
Right.
And it's telling you to do all that and you're not doing that. And that's all you got to do.
But Nick, that's
and don't tell. You don't have to tell anybody you're fearful. You don't have to tell anybody anything. You don't have to tell anybody you're feeling anything. Do you see how the fear's like almost getting you to do something you don't need to do?
Yeah, but it was like also, Nick, it like controls my body to a certain extent. Like without me even trying, I was looking at the fear, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even respond to the guy the first 20 seconds. He was freaking out because I was just trying to look at the fear. And dude, my heart rate was like, my eyes started to get like, I think it might be just adrenaline or whatever. But that's what the fear does, is it gives you that like adrenaline. And then you start like, that's like a disadvantage, bro. I don't want to go into a fight. If he was going to fight, I don't want to go into a fight with an already elevated heart rate and like, adrenaline.
But you can't think about that. You can't think about it. You don't have a control over that.
So what am I supposed to do? Just
you fight with an elevated heart. You fight with an elevated heart rate. You can't think about that. But look, you're getting way too ahead of yourself. That's like if you were in a fight. Like your fear's telling you to fight when there was no fight. He was just yelling at you. And here's what I'm gathering from the situation. Unless I'm wrong, it sounds like you're having a bit of a mutual disagreement. Like you guys don't like each other type thing. You guys.
Dude, I don't even talk to this guy.
Is it really like that? Is it just like totally insane? He just sees you and sees red? Is it really like? Is it just like totally insane? He sees you and he sees red?
Bro, no, not at first. You know what's funny?
Is he threatening you? Is he like threatening you physically?
Yes.
What's he saying? Is he saying I'm going to hit you? I'm going to hurt you?
I gave this guy. He asked me for a cigarette. Okay. So I thought because he had done it in the past before, but he said, "Hey, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry about that." So I thought he was done with it. So I forgave him, and then he asked me for a cigarette today. And then I gave him, I had nicotine gum. I didn't have a cigarette. I gave him that. And he was fine. He was like, all right, thanks, bro. And then he came back, and it was fucking insane, dude. He was insane. So, yeah, I think this guy just seen red.
Well, dude, like, you got to understand, you're also, like, you're dealing with people with problems. I mean, homeless people, they'll look at you, you look at it wrong, they want to kill you. I mean, you got to not, why are you sharing nicotine gum? And it's like, hey, let's share cigarettes. I don't know. I know you're on some journey, Jaden, and you're like out there, I'm just on the street. Like, I'm just going to be a guy, just like experience life and all that. So be it, man. But I'm just saying, like,
what's the problem with giving you gum if I had like 20 pieces?
You look at how close you are now. Now there's far too much proximity with deranged people who are threatening your life. Part of what I was saying, I'm thinking that you guys are having more of like a mutual disagreement, and it's not clear cut that you could tell them, hey, you're wrong, get off. So I thought it was pretty good that you're doing nothing with the fear. I think you should stick to that. But these people are like also homeless and on drugs and stuff. They're threatening you physically, and you're sharing nicotine gum and being chummy. Like,
I wasn't being chummy. He just asked for gum, and in the Bible it says when someone asks you for something, you give it to them. So I just
you're
gave
using
him some.
verses to justify being chummy with people who want to like.
I'm not chummy. I
who
just
want to
gave
like
him
stab you or something.
Like the gum is not the. I just want to know what to do about the fear itself because I don't like that, bro. I know you say to do nothing, but it's gonna happen again, and the fear is gonna come back. And
But it's gonna happen again because look at the environment you're in. The fear.
But then, isn't
both might come again. But the fear, both the confrontation with this people in the environment and the fear, in my opinion, might come back. The fear you do nothing about. You don't do what it tells you. But the environment hasn't changed. So, maybe that'll give you more chances to deal with your fear, sir, but like it's just not a good situation, You're in an environment where this is going to happen again.
You're saying I got to get out of here? That's what God is trying to do. Tell me with this fear.
No, I'm not telling you what God is saying. I'm not even telling you what to do. You're saying, Nick, what do I do when this happens again? You're asking me, Nick, what do I do when this happens again? I want to be clear.
Right.
There's two things happening, which is the fear and this crazy environment you're in, right? And so that's what I'm trying to be clear about.
Fear?
Repeat your question. I talked over you.
What do I do about the fear?
Nothing. Be a doormat.
Bro, that doesn't do anything.
But don't you notice that it did? You almost fought somebody that you didn't need to fight. The fear was telling you to fight him, and he might hit you. And instead, you totally avoided a fight, and it was just verbal. Yes, it sounds like he's threatening you. You got to do it, but like, you understand? You almost made it worse. So actually, something positive did come from you not following that, or were you not listening?
Right, not listening to it. I agree with that. But like, what about how do I get rid of it just in total, general?
Have some faith, man. Why won't you do this part and then just have some faith? You're like, okay, I'm going to do nothing about the fear. I see the fear was lying to me. It almost made me fight someone I didn't need to fight. Why not do that and then have some faith? Have some faith.
Have some faith in what?
In what comes next after that, the higher floors. Climb up the floors, baby. Did you hear church, by the way? By chance, with Jesse Lee Peterson this past Sunday? He was telling us to get out of the basement, climb the floors in this, and get real with awareness and what's going on in our lives. So that's what I was referencing. If you missed it, you definitely should check it out.
What do you mean climb the floors?
Climb the floors of consciousness. You're saying, I want to get rid of this now, Nick, and how do I do it? And I'm telling you, have some faith and climb the floors of consciousness. Deal with this situation perfectly. Don't do what the fear tells you and see what comes next.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, Nate.
Of course. But yeah, if you're getting there, if they're threat, you gotta understand that anger is crazy. You know this, man. You now you know better. I say put up some walls, sir. Look, that's just my opinion. Keep some distance. You'll notice the nice thing you do for someone will bite you in the back because people are evil. And you're in an interesting environment, man. I wish you well.
The reason I gave him the nicotine gum is because I had I forgave him, but that anger was still lingering. And I thought, all right, the anger wants me to be mad at this guy, so I'm just going to do the opposite of that. I'm going to give him the gum.
Yeah.
So it's not like I was trying to be.
It sounds like you have a bit of a history back and forth.
No, he has a history of coming to me.
Mm-hmm. But it sounds like did you say you got mad at him and forgave him?
Yeah, I'm saying that he came to me, did that, yelled at me and all that. But then he said he was sorry. So I forgave him, but there was still the anger there.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to forgive him if he said sorry. No, I'm just mentioning he said sorry because I thought he had just went off the deep end and then came back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So next time it happens,
you can't trust angry people.
Do exactly what I did again.
You can't trust angry people. They'll turn around and stab you in the back. But I wish you well, man.
You're right. Maybe I do need to get a job. I got to get out of here,
some jobs. But hey, this is cool. No, now you got crazy, this is good though, right? You got down and dirty. You're like, let me stick it here in the homeless shelter. You know what? Maybe it's time to get a job. So all's good that ends well, right?
True.
Call me again, Jaden. Hey, anything else you want to speak on?
All right, have a good one, Nick.
Of course, man. Call me again. 888-775-3773. Sometimes you gotta get that. Sometimes you gotta get your hands dirty. I know that when I started living alone, kind of on the younger side, like during high school, and yeah, I made all sorts of mistakes. And lived lots of crazy. You don't know the people that Hake Baby has met, the worlds I've been in. But I'm not a depressed C word like Z said. So, you don't hear about that stuff. I'm a sick. You can't be a depressed. I can't say it. It's vulgar what he says. I can't say it. I can't. The Bambinos are listening. 888-775-3773. I want to get to Frederick, Los Angeles, California. How you doing, sir? Nice to hear from you, man. How you been?
What's going on, Nick?
How you been, sir?
What's going on with you? I've been doing all right. Not too much. Just staying at homeless shelter, taking people's cigarettes and nicotine gum.
You said you're taking it away from them? Help me understand.
Yeah, I've been staying at homeless shelters, taking cigarettes. Breathe, man. Practice on your breathing, bruh. That's my roommate calling in. He's mad at me.
Oh,
what you been up to?
Are you saying you're the room? Are you saying you're the roommate?
You're slow, man. You're slow.
I'm
But
slow.
hey,
It's terrible. I ruin jokes for that reason. I'm like autistic. You need to explain it.
Right.
That is funny, man. Why you tripping on no, well, we know it's a joke now. But how you been, Frederick? Go ahead.
I've been doing all right, man. Oh, what was I calling about? Dude had me laughing for a minute though.
It's crazy at the homeless
fighting,
shelter.
Fighting's not the answer. Fighting's not the answer, even though
No.
you're bigger than them. Stay out the county, all of that good stuff. I was going to ask you about Iran. Do you think they deserve their sovereignty to do whatever they want with their uranium or what?
I don't know. I say no. I don't like it. Right? I'm like, hey, you bunch right there. You say what?
They over talking as we speak.
That's right.
Jared Kushner.
You might be way more familiar with this than I, but I definitely heard about it.
Okay.
It's getting spicy again over there, right?
It might be, if they don't make a deal or whatever. Trump was like, stop killing the protesters, and they killed them all, like, whatever. And like, yeah, now that stop enriching uranium, and they like, nah, whatever. And I don't know what Israel think they got a say in it, but Benjamin Netanyahu's not listening to Trump. He's making demands that they ain't going for. I just wondering what your thoughts
You saying
was
BB's
about
making demands that Iran's not going for?
Yeah.
So
let's just
negotiations
make
are
it
tough.
clear. Yeah.
Interesting.
Just wondered if you had to take, if the world's going in an odd place. Our dollar, Bitcoin's half. What do you think about the take of? Ain't the government shut down right now?
DHS, it's like a partial shutdown.
Partial, yeah, something like that.
But can we do one thing at a time? You brought up Iran. I can't say I have too much of an opinion. I generally think people should have their it seems like I generally think, as oppressive as people tell me governments may be, like the Ayatollah's regime, right? They call it an Islamic regime. I don't know. I think generally people are, I don't know. The impression I'm told is like everybody there just wants to be free. And I don't know how true that is. So I don't care, right? You're far away, do your thing. Thoughts on them having nukes, though? I think we have an interest in that, no? In non-nuclear proliferation. I think we kind of have an interest in that. I trust Trump to handle that. Thoughts on that?
Okay. All right.
Thoughts? Any thoughts on that?
See attitude. No, I just got to wait and see attitude.
Okay.
It is what it is. We ain't got no control over it, so we just got to wait and see. But I hope we don't go to war. China's got their ships over there, and they acting like they're going to back up Iran. And I just like, I don't know. Rubio's going around making deals, trying to get our dollar back strong. So hopefully it all work out.
True. I don't know.
Yeah.
But okay,
Yeah.
you were bringing up something else. You were bringing up DHS. That's where you were going.
Yeah, it's been a while since I talked to you. It just seems like a lot of people act like blacks hate America, but it's not the blacks like the callers were talking about. Y'all talking about like gay marriage and stuff. Trump's not doing nothing to stop that. But it's the white is why the country is not progressing in the way y'all want it to. Because, I mean, they're the ones out there protesting to get 700 troops removed from Minnesota. It's the whites. We don't hate the whites. You know what I'm saying? It's a small majority of the extremists that make them look bad. You know what I'm saying?
And where are you coming from when saying that? Are you saying that, it's the whites? It's really the white. You guys saying the blacks, but it's the whites because they're the ones protesting. And, the way the country, so my question to you is, where are you coming with your criticism? Are you coming at it from a point of, well, you too want the country to go that way, but they're in the way? You too want the borders more secured, ICE, you agree with ICE, etc.
The white versus the whites is America. It's always been America. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying y'all try to throw a 14% scapegoat in the middle, like, and it's not that. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just trying to understand you.
So
Are you saying that because you want the country that way?
No.
And the whites are in the way? The liberal whites or whatever are in the way of this border secured, ICE being empowered? Help me understand what you're saying.
The majority is in the way. Or the majority is taking the country where it wants to go. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
I'm a little lost. You said the country's supposed to be going a certain way. And we blame the blacks.
Elect a president,
but you're saying, no, we're wrong. It's not the blacks that are in the way of how the country should be. It's these people protesting ICE. So is Frederick calling to tell me, man, I wish the country was going that way, but it's these liberal whites who are in the way, not blacks? Or what are you saying?
No. I'm just watching and observing that y'all vote for one president, but the things that he try to get done are blocked by whites, not the people that y'all mad at. The liberals,
what are you talking about?
The liberal whites are the ones that's stopping Trump more than anything.
Oh, you got this like one-dimensional view in your head of like, okay, these guys want this, and they talk about blacks. And so basically, when they say they want immigration this way, they're blaming blacks for it. But I've never said such a thing. I think liberal whites, those females out there protesting, hey, they're all equal. They all share the blame because they're all saying, hey, ICE out. So I don't know who you're talking about.
Blacks are saying ICE out.
Yeah. I mean, maybe to a less degree. I don't really know. Anecdotally, my vibe is that they're not really with the ICE protest so much. They don't care so much about the Latino. But I've seen them out there, and I've seen them on social media saying, there was this rapper who was like, my son is out there protesting ICE, and it's awesome. I love it. So they're out there.
But the liberals done got the Republicans to side with them to shut the government down over defunding DHS. So it's spreading. You vote for one, that's what I'm saying, but it's y'all own people that's getting in the way of what y'all trying to do. If y'all going to do it, do it. You know what I mean? But don't just switch swap. Get everybody on board. Pass the bills and then show them what it's going to be instead of all this infighting before you have the votes. It's like they put up a bunch of stuff but don't have the votes to get it, and then the country's just a mess in limbo. Like, I don't know. I'm just observing. All we got to do is observe. But I was asking your thoughts because we might be going to war next week. We got ships headed over there, and I got a day off work. I ain't really staying in no shelter. And I just got to call in, pick your brain a little bit, see where you was at.
Yeah, well, a lot of those things, nothing's to be said about it. And the question was in your court on the ball was in your court, sir, but you don't have to answer. Frederick, man, appreciate your call.
Yep, anytime.
Call me again. 888-775-3773. And amazing. Okay, thank you for your super chats. I want to get to more calls. I see all of you. I want to get to all of you. Amazing. Let me see this. Did I read this one? Eric, man, thanks for the coffees. Very generous. Says all races of children speak similar. Their speech, vernacular, dialect, vocabulary sounds about the same. It's only adult blacks that have developed a completely separate dialect. Does anyone realize if we were born on an island with no one else to talk to, we wouldn't develop a showcase personality? Blacks put effort into all the wrong things. If you put effort into being entertaining, you lose connection to reality. The goal is to be real. Authentic, honest, not entertaining. Those that seek comfort in entertainment, sports, pastimes, excitement, putting on a show are asleep. Wake up. Thank you, Eric, for the coffees. It's unclear exactly what you're talking about. Because, if I'm gathering what you're saying, adult blacks and like a particular black American urban vernacular. What do they call it sometimes in a funny way? Black urban vernacular. If that's what you're talking about, I mean, it really, I don't know if we're talking about something this basic. Maybe I misunderstood you. But, it's a culture thing. I don't know if you've been in these areas or been around people. Like, have you met like white guys that grew up in like Oakland or something like that? Like they speak just like them. It's like a matter of, the area and culture and all that. So, and they act like them too. And like, so, there's different ways of speaking and different, the southern people speak a certain way, There's a California accent, I don't know. It's like America is a tapestry of subcultures, maybe far too many. Okay. Thank you, Eric. Let's see here what else. Appreciate it. Jermaine, that's very generous. Thank you. All my support here on Rumble. Amazing. I think that's everything for now. Thank you. All right. 888-775-3773. What are you guys up to? Let me see here. See the calls we have. See what you guys are saying here. Let me see. I think we should rock more calls. Let's see. David, Texas, appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hello, young man. How are you?
How you doing, David? All is well?
All is well here, too. Thank you for taking my call. So it's sounding to me, and it was very good to hear from Frederick. I haven't heard from him in months.
That's true.
It seems to me that the California homeless / shelter situation is at an apex of disrespect. I have a good friend of mine that is in California, in Northern California, and he went to go shoot some hoops. He lives in a kind of a halfway house situation over there, and he went to go shoot some hoops, and then he forgot something. He went back inside and saw his roommate using his towel to wipe up the commode and surrounding area, and then hung my buddy's towel back up on the hook. He watched him do it.
That is so wrong.
And my buddy is not the sharpest tool in the shed as far as anger goes. Like he's kind of beastly too. I mean, he is not somebody he's like kind of like a gorilla, you know. I mean, he's a big guy, and he used to have his own business where he delivered frozen water in the form of ice, and he would pallets and pallets and pallets, and filling up machines. I mean, he's just a big guy. And I told him, I said, man, I can't believe you didn't pull his arms off. And
that is so egregious.
Yeah, it's dude. I mean, and
you're either
and my
really
buddy,
not home trained, or that was like F you.
No, it's some super. So the guy reportedly to me is not morally straight, and he's kind of a small guy, and he's come into the house. It's like a 5 or 6 bedroom, 4 or 5 bedroom house, and he's come into the house and is kind of trying to be like the boss, and he's loud and boisterous and trying to push his weight around, I guess. I don't know. It's just kind of weird. But my buddy said that he went into the day room after he cooled off and said, "Hey man, please don't be using other people's towels to wipe up stuff in the bathroom." I mean, I couldn't believe the restraint that this dude had for him was just amazing. And he didn't get into it with him. I mean, I think he may have called him a slur, but that is growth.
But that's it. All he did was infringe his civil rights. That's all.
That's so super disrespectful, though, man. Can you imagine I told him, I said, just imagine that you didn't see him do it.
That is the wrong kind of doormat, in my opinion.
And you're just like wiping your face off, thinking it's your towel, everything's cool. Oh my God, man.
That is the wrong kind of doormat, in my opinion. And that's not to say that I'm not saying
right.
that he should have done something or gotten mad about that. What I'm saying is
correct.
And I don't know anything about your friend. I don't know anything about their life. I'm not making it. I'm just saying that some people consider being a doormat as having just low standards in your life, not caring about anything, and just letting anything happen to you. And that's not
letting people run all over you.
Right? It's just like, well, I can't really work, and I'm not saying this is your friend, but I can't really work, so I have to live with these people, and I guess they're gonna use my towel. It's like that's the wrong kind of doormat. You can.
Oh no!
You know what I'm saying?
This buddy of mine. I mean, I've known this guy since I was like 14 years old, and he's just he's not making good decisions for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that.
Right.
There's that. And I don't cut. I don't cut him any slack. But I couldn't say a whole. What's that?
And not like it's not like you even had to, or everyone.
No.
Not like anyone needed you to.
No.
And
I mean, he's getting cut a lot of slack, and with different people in different areas. So no, I don't pull any punches with him. I do care about the guy. I want what's best for him. I don't know what that is. I pretend like I do sometimes, but I don't know what's best for him.
True say. But yeah, man, that's the same. Some people in the chat are
I
saying
had something
that's
else
why
too,
violence happens.
What's that?
Some people are in the chat are saying that that story there, that's why violence happens.
They're saying what?
That story you told that is the reason why violence happens.
Right.
Terrible.
Right. For sure. I mean, that's one reason.
Right.
That's one reason. Yeah, it's. I don't know, man. And I've been trying to encourage him to get a CDL, you know, and at least then he would have his own place to stay. But he's got a big drinking problem, man. I'm a, you know, I mean, he could do it. I mean, you know, I had lots of problems with drinking and drugging, you know, prior to me getting in the truck. And I can't even remember the last time I had a drink. So I don't know, man. I mean, if he, I don't know. I don't want to see him going out there being on the.
There's nothing to
I know.
Unless you had like unless you had a little tidbit to a little nugget to impart the moment I called for it. Besides, I wouldn't care.
Right. Yeah.
Sir, anything else you want to speak on before we move the wheels?
Yeah, I appreciate you, buddy. I appreciate what you do, and appreciate your show, and you have a great afternoon.
Mate, thank you for that, man. Call me again. Bye-bye.
Thank you, buddy.
888-775-3773. Now I'm let me run down the packet a bit. I want to get to my calls. I want to get back to you. But, you know, I wrote these down for a reason. I'm like, yeah, they'll kick and scream. They'll kick and scream. They'll say, why? Give me the WH5, bro. The who, what, where, when, why, how. Can you just get, like, spoon feed it to me, man? I wrote these down for a reason. They're interesting, okay? You guys like it? Anybody know who now this might be a little off the off the cuff, as in I don't know who this Amanda Askell is. Amanda? Who is Amanda? What's so special about her? Because Anthropic, one of the leading AIs out there, has entrusted Amaska Andel to endow Claude, their AI, with a sense of right and wrong. The woman, they looked at the earth. They were creating a god of sorts, maybe little g god. Is that a little overblown for AI? I mean, have you talked to AI? It's AI. Can you tell? Anthropic has entrusted Amanda Askell to endow its AI chatbot. They looked upon the earth. They're building the little g god, and they said, who among us can decide and instill the sense of right and wrong in our creation? And they looked at the woman, Amanda Askell. I don't know anything about her. I'm talking ish. I don't know anything about her. Amanda Askell. Askell, how do you say that? To endow its AI chatbot Claude with a sense of right and wrong. Is this ominous? Are we about to have a morality imposed on us more that would make the great what do they call them? Great great with an asterisk, right? The great dictators of recent history blush. Are we about to are our laws about to be made by AIs whose sense of right and wrong were given to them by a woman? That was supposed to be, it would be cooler if right then I had a cool clip for you, but this is the part where I don't know much about her. I don't have any footage. I've never even heard her speak. Our future godmother of AIs, of the morality of AI, of at least Claude.
Amanda, you asked your...
Here she is in all her glory.
Followers on... Amanda, you asked your followers on Twitter to give you some questions, to ask you anything. And the joke obviously was, ask me anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a great pun. We need to keep using it for many future things.
I love it.
Is that a pun? Is that a definition of a pun? That's just your last name, right? That's not a pun. Or maybe I don't get how pun works.
And obviously, just before we start, you're
That's just your name. That's just your name. Okay.
Philosopher, Anthropic. Why is it that there's a philosopher at Anthropic?
I mean, some of this is just, I'm a philosopher by training. I became convinced that AI was kind of going to be a big deal, and so decided to see, hey, can I do anything like helpful in this space?
Okay.
And so it's been a kind of like long and wandering route, but I guess now I mostly focus on the character of Claude, how Claude behaves, and I guess some of the more kind of like nuanced questions about how AI models like should behave, but also even just things like how should they feel about their own position in the world. So trying to both teach models
how they feel, how the models. We're watching this fresh together, folks. Okay. Amanda Askell is a philosopher at Anthropic. That's what they hired her for. She has a PhD in philosophy from New York University. Works there as a key figure in AI alignment and fine-tuning. She leads the alignment team, focusing on training models to be honest and exhibit good character, and develop scalable techniques for model behavior. Is she a Christian? No. Sorry. I say with that voice because it can sometimes, that can be shallow too. But it's a good question. Or the person's shaping Claude's moral and ethical framework. What? I'm sorry. I'm just reading more about her.
to be.
Apparently, she was previously married to some guy named William Macaskill, and it's like Macaskill. And she, never mind. Just forget that. It's not important. Just forget it. It's not important. Look, it's just they did something weird with their last name. Maybe quasi-feminist. I don't know.
Good in the way that I sometimes think of it as like, how would the ideal person behave in Claude's situation? But then also I think these interesting questions that are coming up more now around how they should think about their own circumstances and their own values and things like that.
Okay, let's start.
What? Okay. Anyways, so you're gathering, right? She's part of the alignment team. She's fine-tuning Claude to be the ideal person. It's like, whoever she thinks is the ideal person. Looks to be divorced. Now I'm judging. Orange hair, divorced. Had like some weird hyphenated like hybrid name. They're calling it an adopted shared name with her partner, who she divorced in 2015. And she's figured out, she's just guiding the AIs, how to be a good person, whoever I think it is.
But also even just things like how should they feel about their own position in the world.
And, she worries about how the AI feels about their own position in the world. Is that like a lot of assumptions? Is there a lot of jumps there, or is that just we're just agreeing here? Yep, Claude has feelings about their position in the world. That we're just right. We're just cool, right? That's just like a decided thing, I mean, these are the things that come to mind. I don't know about y'all.
So trying to both teach models how to be like good in the way that I sometimes think of it as like, how would the ideal person behave in Claude's.
Hasn't every mom done that, like in the history of time? Isn't that like classic mom? You have a baby, you worship, can do no wrong. They grow up a little bit. You're like, hey, you got to do this. You start trying to teach and guide it. You're teaching and guiding, all that teaching and guiding. You're like, no, I swear, I'm still teaching and guiding. People on the outside are like, no, that looks more like yelling and controlling. Oh, man, I don't know. Am I drawing parallels here? Am I tripping? What do you think? I mean, as Mama's about to make AI our AI god.
But then also these interesting questions that are coming up more now around how they should think about their own circumstances and their own values and things like that.
Okay, let's start with philosophy in that case. Ben Schultz asks,
two more minutes, maybe one more minute, then call.
How many philosophers are taking the AI-dominated future seriously? And I think the implication of the question is that many academics out there are not taking this seriously or are thinking about other stuff and perhaps should be thinking about this. question?
My sense is that there's kind of a split where I've definitely seen a lot of philosophers take AI seriously, and probably honestly increasingly so, like as AI models do become more capable, and like a lot of the things that people were worried about in terms of impact on society have started to kind of come true.
Anyways, I mean, look, I didn't watch this. I haven't heard her speak at length. I don't want to just bloviate. Like, I don't know what she's talking about. It's just like, I don't know. It sounds like we're gonna spend a lot of time philosophizing on what the AI feels, when like what's really the point, what's really matters in that world is that AI is being quickly given the reins. I don't know if you've seen Claude Bot and all this whole world where they're giving AIs, they're basically giving them hardware to operate in the world. You've heard me use the term agentic AI. I told you it's coming. Agentic AI is going to be the thing. You're going to be watching it. Soon your phone as you know it will be an agent. It won't be a phone as you use it with apps that you operate. No, it'll be an agent given with the ability to do all those things. Claude, I don't know if you've seen this stuff. Everyone's running out to buy a Mac Mini because now you can put AI, an instance of Claude Bot, open Claude Bot as they're calling it, into a machine and give it hardware, give it a phone, and then that instance can do whatever a phone can do, which is access banking and anything, right? What matters in this world, we could talk about philosophizing on the feelings and how it feels in its position. What we got to talk about is what are its biases? Because I don't know if you noticed, for example, they hate white people. Imagine tomorrow you make a banking system where, you got to get a loan, and it's through AI. And AI hates white people. I mean, that's what really matters about that. Olav, Norway, how you doing, sir? You're on the air.
Hello.
How you doing, Olav? Nice to hear from you.
All right, cool. Thank you. Nick, what is faith?
Faith is a little thing that it's no doubting. And it's not thinking about what's next. It's not thinking about what's coming and what I got to do or give me proof, or like the proof is in the very moment you're in. Like I'm thinking about my caller a bit who was thinking about, well, I have fear when I'm dealing with some things, and those things are causing fear. And it's hard to believe advice that says, hey, do nothing about the fear. It feels like I got to do something about the fear. When will it go away? I'm thinking about that caller. And I'm thinking about how faith doesn't need to know all that. Faith is proven in that very moment when you don't go with the fear and you see that there's some life there, and you're just going to stick with that and see what comes next. Yeah, so faith is no doubt. Faith is stuff like that. What do you think faith is?
Me, I don't know. I don't know what it is. That's what I'm asking. I don't even understand what it means.
We'll have a conversation.
I'll
tell you what I thought it was. What do you think it is?
But how do you know that for sure?
It's just what I think. What do you think?
Well, I don't have any thoughts about it.
I kind of gave you my reasoning and my rationale. That's kind of all I got for you.
Is there anything you've read in the Bible?
Yeah, some things. About how faith will move mountains, and how faith is like a mustard seed. It starts like tiny, right? And it's like, but it grows.
Oh yeah, the tree. It grows like a tree.
Yeah. So
Oh, okay.
I've read some things. So what do you think it is?
All right. Well, listen. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to ask Jesse anyway. I'm not gonna. Oh, sorry. What?
No thoughts on faith at all?
No, not really.
Understood. Maybe that's better.
But listen, I'm not going to keep you busy for too long.
Thanks, Olav. Hey, cool question. Call me again.
Thank you.
888-775-3773. Amazing. Women morality. That's what we're talking about, right? They're picking the morality. They're going to tell the bot what's right and what's wrong. And can we really trust them? I mean, look, a Chad can show up and you literally drop all morality. You could be like, I'm a Christian. I would never go for. A Chad shows up and it's like all morality out the window. It's like, how can we trust that? How can we trust any of that? And it's like, they're saying there's this woman, right? I don't know if you've seen the socialists taking over America. They say Seattle socialist mayor Katie Wilson claims she will unilaterally ban grocery stores from closing down inner city. You hear about this? It's like Mamdani. They've been talking about very creative things with the food. Grocery stores. They're painting them as real evil. Big old fat grocery stores. They're like, hey, whatever. I forget what's the terrible evil thing they even do. They try and they close, for example, in areas that are like dangerous. They'll start calling it food deserts and stuff. And so what are the mama, what's mama going to do about it? Well, hey, you leave. They're like stabbing. They're like stealing. They're like, give me more. They're like, and what are they? They're like stealing chips and like TVs and mama's like, they're hungry. You better stay open. And suddenly, right? You see how socialism. Now you have like wealth transfers. The state takes control of the food production system, grocery stores, etc. What do they call it? They make it public or whatever. It's a euphemism, I think. And it happened. So wow, how did that happen? I thought it was it's just mama. She just wanted to feed people. Actually, no. You have state control of the grocery store. And does that make any we're talking about morals and ethics here? Does that make any sense? There's the grocery store who owns it and does that. And you're like, you have to do what I say, and it's like with no scrutiny as to why. The why matters a lot here. How about it's hard to have a society here when that they say that. Where are they closing? I don't know if you're understanding this. Maybe I'm speaking a little fast. They're closing in low income areas, high crime areas, and commonly they'll tell you this themselves. And commonly those are areas where there are many minorities, and that's why it's racist and blah blah blah. So that's why the state has to take control of private businesses and enact wealth transfer. And it's not working. It hasn't been for decades. We're already in that's the big secret, right? The big everyone's covering their eyes going la la la, right? Plugging their ears going la 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 moment. That it's like we've already been in this like social contract for decades. And it's like rotting. It's decaying. There's no money for it anymore. There's like the immigrants that are crossing over they're instantly in the tents on the streets. If you've been seeing these videos, they're like, Nick Shirley's going around. He's pretty good at Spanish, by the way. He's like, hey, did you guys expect to come live in a tent when you came over? He's like, no, I thought they're not even putting them in the hotels. They're in the tents outside with the homeless. And so that's like the big farce of it. It's already been proven not working. So anyways. They don't want to close the grocery stores. Run it to the ground and then make it worse. Yo, am I tripping when my callers are like, I don't see an attack on white people. Okay, maybe I be circling the wagons hard and making it hard to have a conversation. But it's just hard to have a conversation sometimes with total communists who are like, I don't know, bro. I don't see this attack on white people. And so people were sharing these compilation of headlines. You must have seen this, right? Coca-Cola asks workers to be less white. Look at all this. I can't even read all that. Same vibe though. Same Same deal. What is all that? I can't even. Now it's just black lines. We have to assume now that those are all all headlines with the same vibe, right? Shall we look into one random one? Gods of Egypt. Yep, still too white. Okay, let's pick. Just pick one random one. Let's go in there. Are the Oscars still too white? Yeah, I think we can assume this is all. We don't even have to check all of this. yeah. I think we can assume that it fits the trend here. I'm like, how are you still calling me? How are you still calling me and saying that? Like, you either are a liar or you just, like, really don't do anything, maybe. You don't get out much. You have to be like a liar, okay? And I saw this video of, it looks like white people out there in South Africa, Johannesburg, a city founded in 1886, apparently. Despite the biggest budget of any city in Africa, many suburbs of #Johannesburg have been without water for weeks now. And look who's protesting. Let me watch this again, because last time I saw this, I remember it was white people. Johannesburg. Like, what are the demographics? Like, yes, there are white people in South Africa. People know this, but that's like, they are a huge, they're like a major, what am I saying? They are a minority in a big way. And if you think Johannesburg, you think, well, people are out of water. You know, that affects everybody, right? But, you know, that's just a side note on the demographics of this protest, right? And yet the ones protesting here, it's like, well, hey, we care about our city here. We're supposed to have water. It's the white people. Johannesburg, if that's how you say it. Demographics. They got no water. You see this? They got no water. Apparently, according to Gronk, Black Africans make up 76 to 85% of specifically Johannesburg, lovingly referred to as Joburg, maybe. That looks like a very white protest. Trying to disrupt things. Oh, disruptive minority in the country. What do you want, water? Oh. Funny thing that they're protesting what they're protesting about. But man, right? It's like they tell you, hey, even now they still have rallies and say, well, the white man, you know, the enduring effects of apartheid. And the white men, they're like, okay, sorry, apartheid, racism, Nelson Mandela, yeah, okay, yep, no problem. Fast forward, they're getting murdered. And now they got to protest in the street for water. Hey, y'all forget about us here? We're trying to get a little water. What a mess. Yeah, I think that can happen here, easy. Developing. Woman was seen begging her boyfriend to get, this is kind of thematic a little. Losing the country. Looksmaxxing. Chads, beta males, cucks. Thoughts on this guy? Was asked by Black Hebrew Israelites to kneel and kiss a boot, and it doesn't look like his woman was too happy about it. I don't know if she'll ever be able to look at him again in the same way.
And we're not going to accept nothing less from white people than them back.
Okay, I know this is a little confusing. I said Black Hebrew Israelites, but this guy seems to be running this particular group.
I went down on this.
It doesn't look black to me.
I don't. When you know what's happening?
Get up right now, she's telling them. Get up. You've seen these guys, right? You've seen them. They're pretty radical out there in the streets. Like, hey, kneel. You the oppressor. One day, things will be the other way around. We are the true Israelites, right?
You have to learn how to listen, man. If you learn to listen, then God will not hate you. We're tired of all the oppression, man. That's right. We're tired of working so hard. We're tired. Here she comes.
We're trying to work it so hard.
He is fighting to love us. He is fighting to love. That's right. To love us. Jeremy, fight for freedom.
This is sick. This is sick.
Fight for the love.
It's sick that he's sitting there, right? That she's even having to say that to him. This is like what? This is like a national sickness on display, no? Or am I over exaggerating? Right?
Get up! Fight to honor the God.
Like what's keeping him on his knees? Like that doesn't make sense. Get up, man. Even his black friend. It seems like his black friend's like, bro, you don't have to do this. Like that guy, that black guy, right? This guy right here. He looks like he has a security, maybe he's security or something, but he's not with the Israelites. And he's like, yo, you don't have to do this.
You said that you would praise. You can kiss this boot.
Andrea, I love you.
No, I don't care.
I don't care. Because at the end of the day, Jesus
You're
Christ
drunk,
is
Brian.
Lord.
Go home. Anyways, this is just pathetic. Some drunk idiot. Anyways. 888-775-3773. Stuff going on inside of him kept him on those knees. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? And meanwhile, they're saying they're not caring over in Japan. Just like not caring. They're saying they unveiled new laws banning Islam. And I'm forgetting. I don't think it's exactly like that, but what it is, I think it's the new Japanese prime minister said she will deport all culturally incompatible foreigners from Japan, such as Islamists who gathered in front of Himeji Castle, the largest castle in Japan, for a mass prayer and to demand Sharia law. That's awesome. That's I can't believe they even did that. That should be deportable offense, denaturalizable offense. Let me make a big statement. Go in front of a cultural place and say more of us, less of you. And you don't even have to say less of you. You know, Japan unveils new anti-Islam laws. Halal banned, large mosques banned, call to prayer banned, prayer in the street. I don't know the exact details of this, but I am hearing that it's true. Oh, wait, hold on. We got a context note. Hopefully this helps. Oh, geez. Hold on. Nothing in this video said anything to do with Islam or migrants in general. Wait, hold on. Japan. Oh. Baseless. These are baseless claims. We're getting fact-checked live. These are, in fact, baseless claims. They're not based in Japan. We're taking it back. There is no Islam ban. Claims of an Islam ban in Japan have spread rapidly online following Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi's recent election win, with social media posts alleging new restrictions. No evidence of an Islam ban exists. Official government records and constitutional provisions, as well as Japanese media coverage, confirm the media is unrelated. Amazing. So that's it. Yeah, and there's no other side to it. There is no ban. There's no such ban. Moving on. There is no such Islam ban. That is not happening in Japan. I was thinking like I was just thinking like if it was happening, like that it would make sense because they understand. Even you would think, why would the Japanese aren't Christian? What is their religion anyways? But even the Japanese would know, but obviously this is not happening, so I think we can move on. I was going to say, like, even the Japanese would know that they're losing something, though, and something's changing. So even they would know, even if they knew that Islam is too much of a change too fast, and maybe it shouldn't happen. maybe irreversible change of what they knew. You're telling me Americans shouldn't know this? That should be obvious. Okay, folks. Thank you for your calls, your super chats, and all that. Had ourselves a little bit of a show here. We got Country Western Tuesday tomorrow. More Hake Report, more American Anchor, baby. And I appreciate all your support. Thank you for the super chats and all that. I think we got to everybody. All the coffees, very generous. Thank you, rumble.com/American Anchor, baby. Amazing. We did the calls, the topics. We done did it all. So I believe that's all for now. So more American Anchor, baby. Make sure you like, subscribe, and all that. Don't be rude. Leave a little like, leave a comment. Tell me what you think. And I'm just making sure we got all of our loose ends tied up. That really is everything, I think. Amazing. All right, folks. I'm going to see y'all tomorrow for more American Anchor, baby, and all the other shows. Take care for now. I'll see you. Bye.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.